TJ with God Nation, and thanks for watching. I just finished reading a really interesting book called The Way of the Superior Man by a man called Deida. And he introduces an interesting concept which he calls polarity. He goes on to say that there's always a North Pole and a South Pole, and magnets of the same side actually don't attract, they repel each other. In the same way, in a relationship, there has to be a feminine element and a masculine element for the relationship to last long term, for it to work. He even goes on to say that as a man, as much as her strength you may appreciate her strength, in time it will actually irritate you and frustrate you. Just like as a woman, she might appreciate his sensitivity towards her, but in time it will infuriate her and it will irritate her and piss her off. Okay, so he then goes on to say that a lot of people, for example, women, they display feminine traits 80% of the time, right? And he associates feminine traits with creativity, with sensitivity, with feelings, with beautiful things, with music. And 80% of the time, a woman can be in a feminine element. But for example, if she's a truck driver or a CEO of a big company, a Fortune 500 company, when she's at work, she has to put on her masculine traits, traits associated with conscientiousness, with assertiveness, which are basically masculine traits. Just like a man, 80% of the time he's in his masculine state. Maybe he's watching competitive sports, participating in competitive sports, chasing his mission or his vision at work or whatever. And 80% of the time he's doing these things, he's in his masculine state. But maybe 20% of the time, maybe he's with his daughter, he's with his wife, or he's listening to some nice soft music, which generates some emotions in him that can be deemed as more feminine, a certain feminine energy. But the relationship must always be polarized. There must always be masculine energy and feminine energy. He gives a suggestion that, for example, if a lady comes from work, a wife comes from work and she's been really grinding and she's feeling assertive and dominating, maybe she should listen to some nice soft music, or or take some time to chat with her friends, or go dancing, or do something that makes her get in touch with the feminine side, with the softer side, something before she gets home. Because if she gets home and she's feeling assertive and she's feeling dominating, and he's assertive and he's dominating, we're going to have two male figures in the home, and it's going to cause a conflict. In the same way with a man, he should really, really display his masculine energy. He can't be, let's say that there's a problem in the home, there's a crisis in the home, and she's crying about it, and then he decides to cry with her, or she doesn't know what to do and he's saying he doesn't know what to do. She won't appreciate that at all. What she actually wants is your strength. She wants your strength and your ability to make decisions and say that this is the way forward, which is basically masculine strength. So for your relationship to be successful, you need to have a man in the home and a woman in the home. Okay, you can't have two women because it will be frustrating for her. You can't have two men because it will be frustrating for him. My brother always says, let men be men and let women be women. So it's a really interesting book, and I recommend that you read it, particularly if you're men, so that you just understand some of the requirements that we may not know of as men, but he really highlights some certain things, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I'm going to do another video on this book. I literally just finished reading it about 30 minutes ago, and I'm still absorbing the information, but it was really, really powerful. Thanks for watching, guys.